Welcome into the Ringiverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast, feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. Jomi, the algorithm, Adeniran. You got questions, he's got ways to manipulate you. Old man Van, he of the receding resurgent hairline. Coke, Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. We'll be right back after this. Follow us on socials at the Midnight Boys Pod on Insta and TikTok. At Ringiverse on Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Jomi.
You bring up manipulate. What if that was my whole thing with the Barry Gordy thing? I was just manipulating people to get the.
Already doing it.
We're starting now? Is that how we start?
Start up.
So,
Do we want to get through program reminders?
Let's get through it. Let's get through it. We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and House of Art episode on youtube.com/@Ringiverse and also on Spotify. Program reminders on Thursday. Ringiverse Recommends is back with Jomi discussing Invincible Season 4. A little bit more on that in a second. Also on Thursday, House of Art deep dives on the latest episode of Daredevil, Born Again. We have a packed episode today, but before we get into that, let's do a little house cleaning.
Well, we should name this. What is this? Like maybe like the Midnight Mud? Like what is it? Like are we just
Midnight
house cleaning?
Midnight Mud's good.
Are we just
good.
like
Midnight Mud.
what do we want to bring up first? Invincible,
Midnight
Barry
Mess?
Gordy?
Let's start with Barry Gordy.
Start with
All
Barry
right.
Gordy. Start with
Barry Gordy.
Okay.
Hey, I want to say two things. Two things. One, Barry Gordy, I know you're going to see this. I want to apologize to you specifically. Your the impact you've had on the music world was very, from my point, I did not understand it. And throughout this
You were not
last
familiar
week,
with this game.
I was not
Neither
familiar
were
with the
you,
game.
Steve.
I didn't get any hate.
Because we expect less of you.
Yeah, that's true. I did dodge a bullet there.
Yeah.
And I just want to apologize to you specifically, sir. Again, your impact on music is immeasurable. And my ignorance is not, my age doesn't matter. I should know what you've contributed to the game. And so to you specifically, Barry Gordon, I apologize. That is on me. I take full responsibility for my actions. And going forward, I will do better to educate myself on matters such as these in the African-American community. Okay? That's one. Two, hey, man, the numbers are great, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I was mad.
Rage baits all the
Oh,
rage.
no, man.
You're mad.
It was bad.
From all corners, can I say? From all corners of
We're back.
black diaspora. The tops of blackness to just our people that we share our communities with, they were pissed off.
I didn't see all of it. I only saw little bits and pieces, but I was like, nah, I
So
can't.
can I
can't get
say
in there.
this to your Nigerian brothers and sisters? What do you have to say? Because I saw it in a lot of the comments. They was like, "Yo, Jomi speaking for himself." In my Nigerian household, we was listening to MJ.
Nah,
We
they was
respect
not.
Barry Gordy.
Nah, brother, we was not locked in like that at my crib, bro. Wasn't the same, man. Wasn't the same.
So,
Different
Jomi, you're
experiences.
saying that it's not necessarily your age, because in the clip, you put it on your age. It's not necessarily your age. It's the fact that your parents, who are immigrants, did not listen to a lot of Motown
None.
and stuff like that.
Zero.
coming
As
up,
far as I know, yeah, zero.
Right.
And
So you didn't get this. I'll also say this. I'm a lot older. When I was like moving around, like first coming to age in the 80s and stuff like that, Barry Gordy was like still around. So it was like, what I mean is, and I'm not saying that Mr. Gordy's not still around right now, but what I'm saying is that like
in the public eye.
The Last Dragon came out. And it was Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. You ask your mom, who is Barry Gordy or whatever like that, you know. You still have Barry Gordy's, these kids are actually still making music right now. But Barry Gordy and Motown and all of that stuff, like Motown 25 happens, I think was that 1983 or 1982, whenever it happens, like that tape is running back and forth. And we're watching the whole thing as a family. So I'm watching Barry Gordy. Like I'm watching Barry Gordy.
But it's funny because like I'm younger than you. It's like it's behind the music. It's like fucking. It's the Jackson 5 miniseries. It's the like.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's no excuse for it. But
I wasn't there.
But,
y'all wasn't watching VH1. Y'all wasn't watching BET. Y'all wasn't going back.
No,
VH1.
Obviously not.
It was more of a I love the 80s.
Obviously not.
And Charles is driving the knife.
Obviously not, man. I was watching Power Rangers.
Okay,
man.
it's cool.
Wasn't locked in.
Steve, do you want to You have any idea? You called it was Barry. By the way,
Barry Gordon was the
Barry
Gordon
was bad.
Clip,
That was
you guys
bad.
both were saying Barry Gordon. You said Barry Gordon, and you said
Barry
Gordon.
Gordy.
Gordy. By the way, just in all seriousness, what you said is absolutely true. It would be difficult in any way to articulate how much culture Barry Gordy and Motown created.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would almost be impossible, right?
Mm-hmm.
It changed the way music was made, music was consumed, it launched the careers. We're talking about the Michael Jackson movie, right? Like Michael Jackson that comes through Motown, that entire artist-making machine that Motown is the foundation of the greatest pop star in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And then maybe the greatest artist in the history of the world in terms of Stevie Wonder. Then Marvin Gaye, who defined the sound. The Supremes, who are the first explosive, gigantic girl group. The Temptations. And then just all of it together. There's no way to actually even put a name to that type of cultural exploration and creation. Just amazing stuff.
Yeah,
amazing stuff. So we pay homage to that as cultural commentators and also as Black men. Okay, and Steve.
And me.
Okay. Now,
you had a busy weekend.
I did.
Yeah.
you were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner as everything happened, but also I put a tweet in the Reddit. I put a post in the Reddit, and the post in the Reddit was me reacting to, for whatever reason, I was out of town. When I'm out of town, I always get in trouble. Okay?
Got to keep you. We're gonna put you on a
out of
no-fly
town.
list.
That means I'm not playing with Bozeman. That means I'm not hanging out with Kalika.
You will respond. When you are away, you will
respond.
If I'm on a plane, if I'm in a hotel, it's like whatever, there's not much stuff to do, I will look at shit and then respond to it. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't upset. I was completely clear-minded when I put that in the Reddit.
Okay. I'm of sound body and mind when I...
Totally clear-minded. Right. It went beyond the Reddit.
Oh, because I saw it. Because I don't go on the Reddit. What's the Bill Simmons Twitter page that they Van popped into the Reddit? I was like,
I was with Jomi when we found
I was
this.
like, oh, shit.
So before we get into it, what did you guys think?
Hilarious.
Here's the thing.
Dying of laughter.
I just saw multiple paragraphs and I was like, oh no.
Oh no, I was like, it's up. Hell yeah. This is the energy I like.
I was just like, why did you have to go do this right now?
What is up? Fuck it.
Okay. Let me tell you, and let me be real with the audience. First of all, if you are listening to this podcast, I love you.
That's not what you said.
I want to let you guys know. Just let me, if you're listening to this podcast, I love you. I have all the love in the world for you. This podcast is reflective of my lifelong passions and me coming together with my brothers and talking about those passions. On this particular joint, we have had a road that in and of itself could be the subject of somebody's podcast. One of us has relocated. Two of us have elevated from their positions of where they are to be some of the best talent that I've worked with. We've had issues where we've had to find ourselves. We've dealt with a lot of stuff.
Podcast almost breaking up.
Right. We've dealt with a lot of stuff in the space in terms of what it is that we cover, what we can cover, because the lifeblood of this is this content space that has been healthier than it is right now. It was healthier than it was when we started. It was healthier than it is right now. And this at this healthiest before we fucking start the podcast. So we are here and we are resilient. I don't regret it. Obviously, anything that I said,
right?
Honestly, I don't regret it at all. And I'll tell you why. If the fans of the Midnight Boys or the fans of the Ringerverse have criticisms about what we cover or who we are, they're entitled to that. Now, if the fans of the Midnight Boys and the fans of the Ringerverse want to become a toxic fandom like the Star Wars fandom or like the Marvel fandom or like any of these other fandoms that kick around the people that are involved in this because of what's going on with them, I'm telling you right now, it's fuck you guys. And I'm being serious. I am not in any way going to stand for being treated like that. No way, shape, or form. No way. Any criticisms that you have of what it is that we do, criticisms that you have of my performance, all fair game. Van talks too much. Van sometimes can be overbearing. All of that stuff. Van, me, all of that stuff. You have criticisms like that? Cool. But the moment that there's displeasure, and as a result of that displeasure, you're being, like, to me, unfair or disrespectful or just wild to me or any of my co-hosts, I'm gonna pop back. And that's all that's gonna happen, right? Like I'm gonna pop back. I am not a punching bag. I've never been, and I'm not about to start now at 46 years old. So everything that I said, I meant. All of your criticisms about what you want, I love that passion about what you need. I love all of that. But when it goes past that into saying shit that's not true, like banging on us for like all of these weird, crazy reasons, you're gonna get a fuck you from me. Perpetuity. It's never gonna change, right? Never gonna change. Never going to change. And I don't give a fuck what y'all think about it. I don't give a fuck what any other person that will put something on Reddit or Twitter or anybody else thinks. I don't give a fuck about none of it. You can kick a lot of asses, but you're not gonna kick mine without me shouting about it. That's it. Anybody got anything else?
I just think, hey, I was like, hell yeah, I read that shit. I was like, yeah, get your shit off. But my other thing is like, they probably don't like when we do this, but I do want, because you said something really important in the post where I'm like, for the continued growth of the podcast, I don't think people realize like, yo, we go out of our way to give you a second episode. Like if we're excited about something, we're behind the scenes being like, hey, yo, like Van, can you find time? Hey, like we're coming in. And I think it's like, it's never when we're picking the content, yo, fuck this fan base. It's I think it's like led by our love, but it's also just about like resources. Like you got Higher Learning, you got Ringer Tailgate, y'all got jobs, I got jobs. So it's like, I think sometimes you guys have to realize it's not anything against you guys as a fan base. It's like we are working as hard as humanly possible to provide as much content and grow the podcast. Like get new people in, because the more new people we bring into this space, the healthier the show is, the more episodes we can do, the more Comic-Cons we can go to. Right. So sometimes you just got to trust the process. Maybe the shows you want to get covered won't always, but we're always having conversations about how we can fit as much under the umbrella as possible.
And like you said, we're doing it as a unit, as a family.
Right.
And we're all connected. You know, it's not one person going, I don't want to do this and not do that. We come together, we go, what makes sense to cover? How should we go about attacking this? And we make the decision as a group.
Everything is made. Oh, my bad, Steve.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. And I know that like a lot of the people that you were addressing were a small yet vocal group that are known to us.
Right.
99.9% of every interaction that I've ever seen or had with anybody that's been a fan of this podcast has been wonderful. And we're not even mentioning those people because those are the ones that keep this show going and the ones that actually grow this podcast. Mm-hmm. And I agree that the idea of making a calcified resistance to something yet still watching it, like I never want to be somebody's hate watch. And I certainly don't want to like make it the thing that gives you energy to do that. So I don't want to tolerate that either because it's just going to be wastes of energy from everybody.
Yeah, you
else.
can hate watch me. Checklist. Like, hey, no,
so I want to be in community with our audience as much as possible.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I do, which is why sometimes I snap like that, because that to me is, there's a lot of people that are going to look at that, Van's being unfair, like all of that stuff. That's cool too. All of that's cool too. Give me an example of some of the stuff that you're talking about, and I will make a critique of us in one specific way. We make a lot of critiques of ourselves, but I make a critique of us in one specific way. We could be more, and we should maybe think about incorporating this into the podcast. We could be more transparent as to the decision-making process of how we cover stuff. Because I want you guys to think about this. When does The Boys come out? What day does The Boys come out?
Tuesday night.
No,
midnight.
Midnight. Comes out at midnight.
Midnight. Okay, when does Daredevil come out?
Tuesdays at 6.
Okay, so what that means, just so you guys think about something real quick. Anybody that would want us to do both Daredevil and The Boys, right? They come out on different days. Yeah. When there's a logjam of stuff like that, which means either we have to push the podcast back, which then puts the podcast back to Thursday, which is the day that I have Higher Learning, it's just a different type of situation, right? Normally when we do this on Wednesday, this is the first pod that I do.
Yeah.
And then everything comes like behind that, right? So the schedule of that means that for us, a pod that can't upload every single day. It's not a YouTube show. Shout out to all the YouTube shows where we can upload every single day, upload 10-minute clips every single day. It's a podcast, which means that the schedule is oftentimes dictated by the schedule of the shows.
And if we don't have screeners, or let's say we had screeners for a week and then they disappear, y'all are like, why? And we're like, hey, we're waiting for the episode.
We're waiting,
exactly.
We're waiting for it, like yeah. And so the more stuff that comes out at the same time, it's great for the content. It's great for the audience because there's more stuff to cover. But it's trickier for us. Yeah. With the amount of times that we can do the show and all of that stuff. It does get trickier for us.
I mean, it was Daredevil at 6, and then for a couple weeks, Invincible and The Boys at midnight on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, then you throw a movie in there. You throw
And so all of these decisions are being made. And with this decision with Invincible, and I'll just talk about the Thrag in the Room, with this decision with Invincible, it was a show that we hadn't covered before.
Yeah.
Right? Well, hadn't covered last year. We covered the first season. So when there's a log jam of all of this stuff and we're trying to decide what we're going to cover, obviously the first show that we're going to be like, maybe we don't cover this, is the show that the Midnight Boys did not cover last year. Is it unfortunate that this season of Invincible is the greatest thing that's ever been created in a way that can never be Yeah, it is. It's fucked up. It is something like that. Yeah. Like, I get that. I can completely understand that. You guys felt like that about Welcome to Derry, and we can continue to go on and on and on and on. But that is the way that it happened. And it wasn't a shot at animation fans. It wasn't a shot at fans of Invincible. It wasn't a shot at fans that are tired of Marvel and DC slop. It's just the way that it happened. But I'm not going to get kicked on my nuts about it forever.
And also, you have to realize, this is the final season of The Boys. We have covered every single season of The Boys. Daredevil, we have Jessica Jones coming back. Like, there are, like, I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I'm like, hey, covering the final season of something, just editorially, that we love, will always trump something that is continuing. And it's just...
Right, and it's the final season ever. And look, by the time we got to this, once again, acknowledging what's going on, by the time we got to this, the conversation wasn't constructive anymore. So if it would have been a situation, and this is just me, because the rest of the boys might not feel this way. If when it was to like people are really loving this, blah 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 blah, maybe, but that's not the way that it came off. The way that it came off was these motherfuckers don't know what they doing. Fuck them. They're in the bag. Van knows people on the show. Like, it's like all this, man, fuck you, dog. Like,
you know, in Hollywood, that are on shows and movies that we never cover.
It's like we never cover. Like, I can know people on the video. It's like, bro. So look, I will make sure that moving forward, I don't allow my own nobody fucks over me trauma that came from having to fight 15 times, like 15 times a year in Baton Rouge and all of that stuff. Like, you're not gonna fuck over me type of shit. I'll make sure I don't let that cloud my judgment into what you guys enjoy. But if we can construct a community here that is different than some of the other toxicity that exists in fandom communities, if that's possible, to be in community with the audience around the things that we love and the stuff that we really get into, stuff that I've been loving since I was 3 or 4 years old, man, I would love to do that.
And like, that's the easier way to get us to cover some of the stuff. I'll be like real. Like, we read the comments. Producers always like, hey, people are saying this or whatever. The more constructive it is, we will have a meeting and be like, damn, we got a blind spot. Should we cover this next time? But if you piss off Van...
If it's fuck Charles, careful. It's fuck Van. Straight up. If it's fuck Jomi, it's fuck Van. If it's fuck Steve, no, I'm just joking. If it's fuck Steve, it's fuck Van. If it's fuck Arjuna, it's fuck Van. If it's fuck Aleya, it's fuck Van. If it's fuck them, it's fuck me. And if it's fuck me, I'ma fuck you back. Straight the fuck like that. All right, let's move on.
All right, we got nerd news coming up real quick. House of the Dragon season 3 teaser trailer coming out June 21st. Now, guys, Van instant reaction. It just does seem like they know they have the goods. this seems like the season that's about to blow the roof off.
See, this is why I felt like maybe the reaction. I'll ask you guys. So we're watching all of these shows as these shows happen, and then we're discussing them so much like amongst each other on social media and stuff like that, right? We're doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have all of these classic shows that we all loved, and some of these shows had great, amazing seasons, and some of these shows had seasons that were okay.
Right.
And then some of them had seasons that were downright bad, and they get right back to the next season. The reaction to the last season of House of the Dragon was like, it's like pretty, like people were upset, right?
It was a little. I think it was that final episode,
Right.
where they were essentially like, "All right, and for y'all, we got to wait for the war."
Right.
And then I think people were like, "Fuck!" And also the Damon being in one
And
location,
Harrenhal,
Yeah,
just
Harrenhal.
like seeing
Nah,
ghosts.
Nah, I
and-
get it.
Yeah.
Nah, but now it seems like they made whatever story decisions they had to make last season, and they have so much story to tell. This trailer to me was fucking phenomenal, and it seems like the season will be too.
I don't know about the story per se, but I do know we're about to get into the action.
Yeah.
Right. This is a point where it stops being a Cold War and starts being like an actual war with bodies flying and dragons in the air and everything going crazy. This is the part that we've all been waiting for. Now, like I'm pretty sure I said it at the end of season 2, but like them going from 10 to 8 episodes like ruined it. Right.
That's
we
tough.
should have, like, something that's probably going to happen in the beginning parts of season 3 should have happened at the end of season 2, but because of, budgets or whatever, episode count, we're getting it now. So we're going to be fed fully. If you're hungry for action, you're going to get it.
Yeah, they definitely got the notes that there weren't enough battles in the first 2 seasons, and the jokes of, well, at the end of season 1, it's now the war really begins, and at the end of season 2, it's now the war really begins.
Well, at least they were marching
And now
off
the
to
war really begins.
They were actually, at the end of season 2, they were actually marching off to war. Like,
Yeah, well, now it really begins, and we're here.
But here's the trailer's so funny because everybody's like, "Damn, Rhaenyra, your swag's so tough. You got all the
Your smoke too
dragons."
different.
Yeah.
They'll kill you.
Yeah, they like, what you about to do?
The opening shot of the trailer is her on Cyrax, man.
Yeah.
You locked in right now. You see Vhagar. Vhagar looks great. She got that little tuck, you know what I'm saying? The neck not too crazy. She out there burning people. Come on, we
In
here.
any way, do you feel like the trailer is a reaction to people that went last season wasn't really the juice, and they went, you guys aren't gonna have a fucking time to catch your breath in this fucking season. Boom. take this.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'll go, I don't believe this, but it'd be so funny if in the HBO office they like, man, these motherfuckers excited about Dunkin' Egg and all they charming shit. We about to give
This
you
what,
all.
okay, this is what pisses me off because they could have done this when they had all the goodwill in the world after getting Dunkin' Egg off the ground. Because I was kind of actually getting annoyed that they're not giving us something for House of the Dragon near the tail end of Dunkin' Egg, like at all.
No,
Like,
they had to let it breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You gotta let
You gotta
the
breathe
little
for a
homie breathe.
Come on, man.
they're not gonna they're not gonna stop making Game of Thrones stuff.
Well, I don't think. Oh, obviously not. But like Dunkin', I mean, it stands on its own, right? And you want to like prove that you
Sure.
can't just like throw House of the Dragon scraps at it so people bite, especially with a show that we all loved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't need that.
So
now
you want a
it's-
Dunkin' Egg leading into the third
I don't mean
season.
canonically, or I don't mean like
No,
thematically.
I know what you mean, but like in terms of the programming.
It's like, yeah. It's like, hey, you love this. Guess what? End of the first season, Dunkin' Egg. Guess what?
Well,
Brand new
you
trailer
also-
for Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Or
the
House of the Dragon.
trailer. Well, we got a trailer eventually. We got a trailer a couple months ago,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So-
but that was like a teaser for
That
the
was like a-
teaser.
Exactly,
that's
and
it.
and like we didn't even get a date until just now. Like it feels like it's okay. We're at the doorstep of this
HBO
season.
don't give dates.
They don't give dates.
They don't give dates. You
I
gotta
mean-
find out late.
How do we feel about the Game of Thrones universe? Because like this is, I think, the first time in this space where I can say this, but I'm like, if season 3 of House of Dragon delivers and you got a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I'm like, you have 2 of the best shows. Like same year where it's like, I can't remember when Marvel or DC has ever had 2 shows I could point to where I'm like, hey, yo, critically and commercially, these shows are. You've had 2 in 1 year that are
Yeah.
blockbuster. Because what? It was WandaVision and then
And
Falcon and the Winter
Soldier,
Soldier was okay.
I
And then
think
you had Loki.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
The jury's
So
still out.
You could
though.
say that. I mean, that 3-show run then to Hawkeye had us at first believing that maybe they had the goods.
That is true.
I think
So
so.
like we remember it now because they just fucking stopped.
tough.
But like that 3-show run, I still remember the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's me and Chuck personally. I remember the Falcon and the Winter Soldier really fondly, and I think it's a little overhated now. It ended fucking.
It was the finale. It was the finale.
And the finale and the Power Broker stuff, complete like.
But while the Power Broker stuff was popping up at first, how do we get back on Marvel? Okay, let's go. So yeah. To your point though, it seems like, and when we look at it, they had a lot of work to do with the end of Game of Thrones, but it seems like now they found their footing in the stories that they want to tell in the way that they want to tell them.
Yeah.
If this trailer is indicative of how the season is going to go, then you have an Aegon's Conquest movie that's coming out.
Right.
If they nail that, Game of Thrones might be the #1 fandom out of all of them.
Difficult conversations.
It is tough.
Difficult conversations.
If this is gonna be a hit, this will be the first thing that George actively rebelled against that is actually now successful without his immediate buy-in.
There is one thing
because he hated that last season.
There's like a couple things that, like, as somebody who read the books, I have questions about. Mainly like Aegon and Aemon's like beef. He says he's gonna like kill his brother.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And like that's not present in the text. It's like I don't even think it's subtext really. Like there's always the Aemon Daemon parallels are always there. They're in there in the book. They're in the show. But like for him to like come out, for Aegon to come out and say like I want to kill my brother, it's a little different. But it makes sense thematically within the show because his brother tried to kill him at Rook's Rest.
Right.
Right. And so like if you survive that, you kind of be like, hey man, I don't really mess with that vibe. So I'm interested to see, like, obviously they changed a lot of stuff from the books. I'm interested to see whether that stuff works in this story, but we'll see.
So before we get to the boys, this is connected. So this week it was announced that Gen V was canceled after 2 seasons. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, creator and executive producers Eric Kripke and Evan Goldberg wrote, "While we wish we could keep the party going another season at Godolkin, we're committed to continuing the Gen V character stories in The Boys Season 5 and other VCU projects on the horizon. You'll see them again. It has been hinted that Gen V, a lot of characters from Gen V will make a cameo in this final season. And obviously, we have Vault Rising and we have The Boys Mexico. The reason I wanted to talk about this is, where is the Boys universe? Because it feels like Amazon obviously still believes in it if we have Vault Rising and The Boys Mexico coming, but it seems like either Gen V did not do what they wanted it to do commercially, and they're just like, hey, you need to wrap this up in this final season. Do you think maybe that's muddying the waters? Where it's like, because I am wondering, I'm like, where are the Gen V kids? Was it a big thing that whatchamacallit was supposed to be the next Homelander?
Marie, yeah. There's still a game left. I think the math on that is, as fortunate as it is.
I'm supposed to talk first.
By all means.
No.
You got it. You got it, big dog.
I see a lot of things going on with you in the Barry Gordy stuff. I see you. Later on, we have an interview with Cheyenne Ewulu, and I want you guys.
Great interview.
Posture check on Jomi.
Interview. I want you guys to watch. Jomi's blossoming. I want you guys to watch. I'm telling you right now, watch how Jomi addresses her. Watch the posture and the body language of Jomi during this interview. Go ahead,
I will
Jomi.
just say, Jomi, I'm so proud of you. The minute you got up out of your parents' house, it was just
totally changed.
It's an
Like,
evolution.
Totally
It's a
changed.
Pokemon evolution for
for
Pikachu to Raichu.
real.
Totally changed.
The way you be talking to some of these women in the streets, I'm like, Jomi.
Totally different.
Jomi.
Too loud.
Totally different. Totally different. Everything's different. You're different. You've changed. Go ahead.
So with Gen V season 2, it ends, and I think the story's too wrapped up in the boys to continue. I think that's legitimately like my first thought.
Right.
I was hurt because I love the show and I love the characters and the actors. Like they're doing amazing work. But when I think of like what would a Gen V season 3 like with the end of the boys,
Right.
Man, you'd have to do a lot of work to get those characters back together in a world where Vought, Godolkin, God, you, all that also is not there.
Yeah.
It would just be it'd be tough.
I feel like canonically it would make sense for the idea that Gen V and Godolkin is probably no more, or what the things that the finale of The Boys leaves in its wake probably doesn't have enough room for the type of show that Gen V was. That being said, I'm glad to know that they're conscious of the fact that we love those characters and we like that story. It just sucks to know that like this was kind of a like, at least for us, a bit of a darling because we loved this show.
Yeah.
And this was actually a very inspired take on The Boys. I'm bummed, but I get it, and I'm actually kind of glad that we never got to a place where Gen V ever overstayed its welcome.
Do you guys see what's happened with The Boys?
They've become what they sought to destroy.
So The Boys starts in 2019.
Yep.
And when it starts in 2019, I remember I had no idea what The Boys was. I've told a lot of people this story before. I legitimately kept driving down La Brea and seeing the same billboard over and over and over again. And that billboard was about, I don't know, like something about evil superheroes or whatever. Whatever the show comes on, I watch the show. I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. But at that point, The Boys was a direct rebuke, criticism, almost lampooning of the world of superheroes that we existed in.
And especially the MCU.
And especially the MCU. Especially the MCU. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
The MCU was healthy.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot easier to take the piss out of the MCU and have that be something that made this world into this like sort of amazing fabric of anti-heroes and disgusting stuff that was compelling. Things changed in two ways. Number one, now the world is so cynical, we want the MCU back. The version of the MCU that was there that felt good,
Right.
the stories that had these arcs that were emotional and these characters that you could glom onto. The MCU tried to do this thing where they got a little bit more kind of out there and me and we're like, no. Don't want that anymore. It's not what we want. Even the Superman stuff that's coming out, that stuff is coming out and it's feel-good superhero stuff. And that's the stuff that is kind of working right now to a degree. Now, that happened along with, at the same time, the world changing to being almost identical to the world that The Boys is portraying.
Yep.
And for a lot of people, that's a drag. Like for a lot of people, like watching a race to the bottom, like a worse competition between characters, it feels weird. It feels bad, right?
Yeah.
Even a show like Daredevil, and this is not a critique of The Boys, this is just kind of me talking about this entire world and how that world exists in the current world that we're living in. Like watching all of this stuff, this stuff is sometimes triggering, man. Like this stuff is sometimes not easy to digest. And whereas before, it was a wink and a nod that you watched it while you were winking. Well, now you're watching it, your eyes are doing something else with tears, like emotional and cultural tears. And I don't think that these shows, they were easy to watch because they were so absurd. I don't think they're that way anymore. I think some people now are like, yo, man, I need a break from some of this.
Do you also bring it back to the Game of Thrones conversation? I think that's what made A Night of the Seven Kingdoms so refreshing.
Without a doubt.
You have a show that is like, yes, we live in a cruel and evil world, but there are still good people within it doing their best. And when you watch The Boys, there is that undercurrent where I read a quote from Jack Quaid talking about like Huey's relentless hope and optimism. But you're like, that's like a drop in the bucket of a very dark fucking show.
Yeah.
And even sometimes watching this season or Daredevil or a lot of this stuff where I'm like, this doesn't feel like a break from my world. It just seems like
Homelander doesn't seem so bad anymore. He seems like,
he's pretty bad.
Listen, he seems terrible, but it's kind of like par for the course.
It's not like the elevated, like cartoon villains, right? Like they do this thing, you're like, man, that would never happen in real life. And then you see Homelander, you're like, well, that's actually happening right now. He's not lasering people in the face, but outside of that, it's basically one for one.
It's an alternate. It's like an alternate to like say a South Park, who like is wanting to make biting satire of the like utmost moment that we are in all the time, but to not be so as like whether indirectly or directly mean spirited as The Boys is, because that world is so bleak while also reflecting what we
I'm not talking even about that. I'm talking about the fact that every fucking thing that they have said is going to happen has happened. I'm legitimately talking about the
like
fact
some Simpsons level
that
shit.
When you look at the writers of this show, they are culturally examining our current world and saying, this is the most absurd thing that could go on.
Yeah.
Then the shit goes down. Sometimes they're coming after it, right? Sometimes they're commenting on stuff that's already happened. But like, sometimes the shit that they are saying it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
And so while I am deeply, deeply, deeply invested into this world and these characters, I still find it compelling. I do see why people are like, maybe we don't need 4 or 5 shows of this type of stuff.
But that's why Jim V was such a breath of fresh air, at least for me. Like, it was like, it's still in that world, but they dealt with like teenage problems and stuff you do in college and things like that. They weren't dealing with Trump with laser eyes over there. You know,
Right.
It was a very different vibe.
It was a mystery that led to something bigger, obviously, but
now, like, when he shows up at the end of season 1, if I recall, but now that like they're on the run, like they're like totally intertwined in that world, I don't think you can divorce it.
I mean, I will say we are living in a reality where is this the 3rd attempt on the president's life? And motherfuckers like, yo, put on the plan. Like we're so desensitized. We're just like,
they was like, they cut off Nuggets Wolves for this.
Yeah, come on.
Like, so when you see it happen, when you see an assassination attempt in The Boys, you're almost just like,
it's like, oh, this is
I live in the real world where we are at a point where we're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Just like, but before we get to The Boys, another thing I wanted, because I think it's part of this. Are you guys surprised about like the Daredevil numbers? Because we were in our group chat, we're sharing that some of the Born Again season 2 numbers, they're struggling. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a 46% drop from
in
the
viewership.
first season. Yes, a Daredevil Born Again season 2 garnered 4.5 views in 5-week window, which is a decline of 46% compared to season 1. I believe these come from a company called Luminate. I'm just bringing this up to be like, we all think that Born Again season 2 is better. Like, I think it is.
I think it's good. I think
It's legitimately
more.
like
Yes.
it's rocking right now.
Is this a show that you think Disney Plus can get back on the rails, especially now that we have the Punisher movie coming out? It seems like we know Luke Cage and Iron Fist are about to come back in the 3rd season. Is that enough, or do you think the first season was just people were like, this isn't my show, fuck it?
Well, I think that this is kind of this proves that, like, so not to rub this in the audience's face, I'm like legitimately using this as an example. The Invincible thing that happened in season 2. The competition, give you a different example. Like, I'm watching NBA not too long ago, and I turn on Amazon and the NBA game is on. This was the regular season was still happening, and the shit was fucked up.
Right.
I did not stay with the game for it to get better.
Fucked up how? Like it was a bad game? Or was it...
No. The legitimately Amazon shit like wasn't working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
You,
The stream
you
wasn't
heard
working.
this before. The stream is fucked up.
It's too early.
The shit is it's early. Like I watched it. I watched like a minute of it. I go, fuck this. There's too much other stuff for me to watch.
Yeah.
So like I'll watch a video about motherfucking Operation Paperclip or something like that. There's too much other stuff.
Obviously.
So I cut it off, and I did not cut
Right.
that game back on. Right. I think a lot of these shows are suffering from this. I think that like with Invincible season 2, even though it's rebounded because the word of mouth is crazy and it's very memeable and people are loving it. I think what happens is people say, okay, I'm really excited about this. They watch a little bit of it and they go, hey, this is fucking up. So I'm off of it. I'm on to something else. Something else takes its place.
Yeah.
And with Daredevil, I think this season is going to be akin to the last season was for Invincible, to where they have to steady the ship. Maybe not as many people are interested as they were when it first came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then next year, they're able to build on what they did this year, and the numbers return to something of the normal level that we're expecting.
I'll get to it because I think Invincible, to your point, Invincible, Daredevil, I even think The Boys, to a certain extent, is at this point where it's like, I'll get to it when I can get to it, versus being at one point, Daredevil was appointment viewing.
Right.
At one point, The Boys was appointment viewing. It was just like when the episode drops, everybody's like,
I'm there.
hey, I gotta watch it before it's spoiled.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit like, hey, I'll wait until we get the whole season and see what's
That's the
fucking
attention
moving.
economy pretty much
And
in
this
general.
content logjam is
tough,
a lot.
man.
It's tough.
They're so. That's why because it's gonna be House of the Dragon, and then there's gonna be a whole.
It's going to get worse.
Yes, it will get worse.
We think this is like crazy time with all these 3 shows. It's going to be shows, movies coming out the wazoo in the summer, man. We're just getting started.
All right, so let's get to The Boys. Can you read us off our spoiler warning?
We're getting ready to talk about
The Boys.
you're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. All right, to begin our reactions, we once again bring you the Midnight Manifest. That's Chuck's department. Take it away.
All right, there's your Midnight Manifest for the Boys, episode One Shots, directed by Phil Segretia, written by Julina Nera. One Shot shows a day in the life of 6 members of the cast: Firecracker, Black Noir, Butcher's Dog Terror, Sister Sage, and Soldier Boy. As Homelander's delusions of godhood increase, the Seven's loyalties are tested. Firecracker is forced to renounce Christianity and Jesus to appease Homelander, which ends in her murder. Black Noir's acting career is cut short thanks to the Deep. Sister Sage convinces Ashley to partner with her as she develops a plan to end the world and rid herself of Homelander for good, while Soldier Boy and Homelander visit the Seven's former speedster, Mr. Marathon, played by Jared Padalecki, who has information on the surviving vial of V1. Meanwhile, through Terra's POV, we see Butcher's relationship with his crew healing as they save his dog from dying of a chocolate overdose. That has been your Midnight Manifest for the Boys. So, what I want to talk about first is when I watched this episode and I saw the title, I was like, oh, that's such a cool idea. Because in comic books, obviously, one-shots are something we all know about, where it's like you take a hero or you take a villain, you give them a one-shot, and it's just like we get to spend a lot of time with this one character. And through that lens, I thought that this episode was very cool. To me, though, for a final season, this felt like an experiment that I would have thought was way more dope in season 1, 2, or maybe 3. Last season, I was a little bit like, hey, what? Where's the gravitas? Where are we going?
I mean, for me, I get it. I liked this episode. It was kind of a filler episode, you know what I mean? But it was a good episode of television.
It was a good episode of television, but was it an entertaining episode for a final season?
But you know what though? I think that I mean, I guess if we look at it like that, I do sometimes think that we put a little bit too much pressure on final episodes of season, that something crazy has to happen every single episode.
But they searching, like, perfect example. They have been searching for V1 for how many episodes at this point? At least like 3, where I'm like, we only have, I believe, 3 episodes left. So there does get to be a point where I'm like, hey, their search for V1 is not as compelling to me as the relationships. Like, I actually thought, perfect example, the Firecracker story
is fantastic.
Works for me. Yeah. Like, I was just like, no. Her relationship with Homelander, obviously they kill her off. That to me is, I'm like, oh shit, I'm learning something new about a character. Instead of the Soldier Boy part, almost kind of felt like a backdoor pilot.
It is a backdoor pilot. But can I, like,
well, his whole, everything that they're doing,
everything
is
a backdoor pilot. But the question is, if the Firecracker stuff works for you, and then there's other stuff in the episode that is compelling, but like not what, does it matter to you that there is something that was, I guess, a conclusion of Firecracker's story, or something that was deeply resonant about the conflict between like who you actually are and what you want to be? Like, because that's the kind of things I expect to get in a final episode with the finality of the consequences for a character.
I just thought it was like, because it wasn't, because Firecracker is a character that I don't really give a fuck about.
You don't care, yeah.
The thing that I ended up liking about her storyline is I'm just like, okay, you guys are finally actually interrogating Homelander, not only wanting to be a god, but fully believing that he's a god.
Like, what it cost you.
And what would it cost you? And I'm like, oh, that's so fascinating. When you pivot to like the terror story about like, oh, he ate chocolate and we have to save him. I'm like, oh no, this is funny, but I'm like, it stops the momentum of the episode a little bit. Like, where like by the time Homelander kills Firecracker, I'm like, I don't know if this, because I knew it was about to happen, but I was like, I don't know if this landed as well, because the Deep and Black Noir stuff or the terror stuff wasn't at the same level of drama to me.
It's possible. There's some parts of the show that I feel like undercut the biggest parts that end an episode, but I try to cherry pick the things that I really like. Again, the Firecracker stuff was the highlight of this episode. I just think that if this were a lower stakes season, this could actually be a lot more meaningful because this is the exact type of like character building that we could use in middling seasons.
Right.
Now I'm like, okay, well, if we're not moving the needle that much, the way that I looked at it, I was like, I don't think I'm going to see much of anything. Probably only Firecracker getting killed in the previously on in the next episode. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you'll see Will Forte and Seth Rogen and Kumail Nanjiani getting run through. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Well, the previously on hasn't been like on the show. It hasn't been like stuff that happened in the show prior that much. It's been also the previously on has been
stuff from
picking you up from previous seasons and stuff like
that. I think. I don't know. I didn't mind the terror stuff because again, like we saw the episode previously where they're all like beefing with each other and had like that like moment, and for them to like still be some sort of a team after that, like it shows a little bit. But I think the one that like really didn't land for me was Sister Sage.
Yeah,
because I don't know what her plan is. Like I know what it is. They explained it to me, but I don't quite understand it. Right? Because she hates humans because she solved leukemia. Yeah. They said, "Oh, you're a girl. You didn't do that. Her grandmother died, so she hates humans." But now she also hates soups and wants to eradicate everybody so she can be alone and read her books.
I feel really like they missed the mark on this character because there's so much that you can do with the concept of it.
You don't like her, huh?
No, it's not that I don't like her. I feel like I don't like what the show's doing to her.
Like I can understand it like from like a
Steve,
reading
I don't
the text.
Steve,
I don't know if that's the critique.
Steve, I'm not sure.
What did I do?
You don't like a black woman?
I didn't say it out loud.
Steve,
no, I hate the white people writing
you didn't say it out loud.
Steve,
you were thinking it.
I don't know. You didn't say it out loud. I'm not sure about that.
You're not.
I don't know.
You
After Barry Gordon in this,
Barry Gordon in this,
Barry Gordon or Barry Gordy?
Like he said, Barry Gordon. You said it as well. I don't know if back-to-back weeks if we can handle this attack.
Okay, well, I've got no.
No, but
I've got no beef.
You are right. That storyline.
I got no beef with Sister Sage. It's more of like I feel like the writers are doing her a disservice a little bit because there's such a wide open field of things you can do with the idea of the smartest person in the world.
Yeah.
To just kind of be this petty and vindictive person without that much depth.
Maybe at this point she's just over it completely, and it's like at this point everybody got to die.
I got to know why she's like that.
But that's
my
thing though. Like, why does she need the peace? What is happening in her life that maybe I'll talk myself into it because she's always like, man, I always got to solve the problem. There's always something going on. But like, I don't know. I just think they particularly landed like that plane and us finding out exactly what she wants from all of this.
But she's not in the show. And I think that's also a thing that they've even been joking about internally in the show, where it's like the problem with final seasons is it's like you have to wrap up as many character arcs as possible. And Sister Sage to me is a character that's been underserved, where it's like, because it's like Soulja Boy has kind of taken her place, where it's like Sister Sage had a big role in the last season. And now that time is being split with like Soulja Boy, but also Ashley needs it. It's just and who's the homie? Who's the preacher? You got him.
I like him.
That's a lot. That guy's a lot.
So I like him. I think that the cynicism that he represents, sort of this the cynicism of modern religion, and we've been like having that. He's like a Drewski sketch. He's like that Drewski sketch.
Right? Yeah.
I like him.
Viewers.
I do though think that what you're talking about is absolutely true in terms of Soulja Boy being in the show as much as he is means that they have to service Soulja Boy a little bit.
Yeah.
And some of the other characters that you thought would have more usefulness in this last season.
The problem though,
Soulja Boy be cooking though.
Cooking.
He is great though. He's cooking.
Man.
So it's because I believe this. If you have a character that's that entertaining and lights up, because like I keep saying, unless the only characters on screen right now who to me can be just as entertaining as Homelander when you put them next to him are Butcher and now Soulja Boy. The problem is I'm just like, hey, yo, where's MM? Where's Frenchie? Where are all these characters where I'm like, this is the last season.
Yeah.
They're still the heart of the show. To me, Soulja Boy is still a guest.
You need to see him. You need to see more of them and less of Soulja Boy.
It really is. It feels like a cheat code because he is so charismatic and magnetic as a character, but I really don't think the season actually needs him.
Like, and what service is Soulja Boy serving?
I think only the compound V1 stuff.
Yeah,
he was kind of the thing in which you found out about the compound V1. I don't know if his dynamic with Homelander is really working.
I mean, it's not
it-
revelatory.
I thought it was better in this episode.
Okay.
I thought it was better in this episode. Like I was gonna. They have the Supernatural reunion.
With Jared
With Jensen Ackles and Misha Collins. Like I know Jensen Ackles is a guy. Hold on, I'm sorry. What's his name? Jared
Padalecki.
Jared Padalecki, Jensen Ackles, and Misha Collins. Like that was cool to see. Like I know it's a little bit of like fan servicey, but it's Eric Kripke. He's gonna do it. But when they're in that little bunker with all the memorabilia, and he's like, "Tell me the story," da-da-da. And then Homelander comes, stomps his head out, and you can see like, okay, like that's my son. I'm gonna stand up for him. That's my dad. We gonna do this thing together. I'm like, okay, they found it.
Yeah, you worked that. You like that.
Yeah, they found that.
Uh-huh.
The
I think
baby
that's important going forward.
The baby oil
it.
joke though was
Come on, man. Come on.
That was a little too easy.
Come
I
on,
was like,
low-hanging
guys.
fruit.
Not puff. What's it called? Puff baby oil or something?
I was like,
man.
come on, y'all. Y'all better
Man,
than
that's crazy.
So I mean, look, I think overall, good episode.
I don't know if people will like love it. It's like, to your point, coming in like a final season where you expect everything to go like 100 miles per hour all the time. It does kind of slow down a little bit.
I mean, look, for me,
but I liked it. I think it's a good episode.
yeah,
of
we
TV.
like, to me, I always talk about this. You should have expectations for shows. You have expectations for final shows. I guess for me, The Boys I was so curious about how they would choose to end the show, because the show never made a big deal about itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff and other superhero stuff that we watch, by the time you get to the end of it and you get in the middle of this stuff, these characters like represent these gigantic thematic questions and stuff. The Boys always seemed like it was making fun of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So the question was going to be in the last season of the show, how it was going to be grandiose. Because it can be like disgusting, and it can be a fuck you to the rest of the thing. It can be all of that. But how is it going to be grand? How is the end of the show going to feel grand? And I think that they're purposely not trying to do that. Yeah. I think that they're saying we don't want to do that. Like, we're not trying to do that. I wonder if the audience is going to be able to subvert their expectations of that type of grandiosity in the final season of a show and like say, oh, okay, this is the way they chose to go out.
But do you think part of that is almost like too much of a good thing, where I think we expect a lot of the grandiosity also because they did the hardest thing to do in Hollywood, which is make an iconic character.
I agree.
Where Homelander and what he means to culture now is so big that you expect a story that is going to end it in that same way that it's like when you watch Return of the Jedi, you like,
right.
Oh, how are we going to end this with this character? Yeah. And like Homelander, to me, I'm like, with this season, I almost think Homelander is a little lost in this season, where I like the God complex story. It's just still, we are waiting for this bomb to explode, and waiting for a bomb to explode, to me, there should be more tension.
I think the thing I enjoyed about that particular scene at the end is she is lying, right? But despite it, she does want to make Homelander happy. She does want to give everything up to him, sorry. But just because she has that eensy-beensy tied doubt, right? Just because she can say it, she can do it. But the fact that she doesn't 100% believe that he's still like, you're not there, kills her, that's important. That's important for him. Because now it means that not only can you not talk back to me, not only you have to believe 100%. If you're not all the way in, you're dead. Yeah. And that's a stepping stone that I think for the characters. But we've known he's a ticking time bomb. But that was the first time. Not the first time, but that was like, oh, he might be on a cliff that he can't come back from. I think that might be.
Did the death of Firecracker? How did y'all feel about it? Because I kind of got, when she started like talking to him, whatever, I'm just like, there's no way she's walking out of this room alive.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, with the way they set up everything that she was going through, how did you guys feel about that part?
I actually liked that because it really did foreshadow. Like the moment that she was like, okay, I'm God now. And she just is like, okay, I'm dead. I think that I genuinely thought, I'm like, that's probably the end of her. Because it's the moment that she can't actually bring herself to do it or convince herself to do it, that she thought that this is legitimately insane. She could spin it, she could sell it, but she actually can't believe it.
I mean, she sold out. She did what she was supposed to do, and it didn't matter. She still ended up getting got. what's the price of selling your soul?
Right.
Well, that's what I love, because even Soulja Boy says it to Homelander. When you get pissy, you ruin everybody's life. And I did like using Firecracker as an example of, oh no, just the claustrophobic feeling of being around Homelander. He's going to take everything from you. I even thought it was interesting in the Black Noir part where it's like, it's not even Homelander so much that's putting the screws to him. It's the Deep being like, no, you can't. If I'm going to be miserable, you can't have anything outside of this.
Right.
You're in the muck with me now. And I was like, that to me was the most interesting part of the episode of like, oh no, Homelander has created, and it's just like our politics. When a tyrant, a fascist creates such a atmosphere of fear, all of the soldiers are going to basically fuck each other over because they're all drowning. Right. And I was like, that to me is so compelling.
So, and that's kind of what I got from the Firecracker stuff. Once again, it's a direct, and I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys are fucking MAGA. I don't know why you would be listening to this. But like that's the thing. One of the most, I would say, compelling things, and that's the word that I would use about President Trump, is his ability to continuously glamour people into doing his bidding when they know how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's Scaramucci, if it's Kristi Noem, if it's soon to be Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, whoever. Like, he gets you up there and asks for all of your integrity, every single shred of integrity that you have, to fall on a bunch of different swords, some sharp, some dull. You do it, and then the first time he gets in trouble, you are fucking fired. Like, Mike, the list is so long of people that have occupied that space that it is amazing. Now, what ends up happening is, or the actual answer to this question is, like, you have Pete Hegseth, who would never be Secretary of Defense.
Yes.
That's the thing, right? Kash Patel, like, you're not going to get to head up the FBI. Kash Patel will be fired here pretty soon, right? Yeah. You don't get that job unless you do what you have to. But to watch her go through that whole thing and have the last thing that she actually truly kind of believed, the last thing that she actually believed stripped away from her, then she died. I thought that really worked. And they did, and the way that they did it was to give it a human face. Was, I guess, like, what was the guy? Like the
pastor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, so like to like him and the things that she had to say and the stuff that she had to do to watch that entire journey of her still get to that same place was like, that really, really worked for me. But once again, that is a direct, to me, commentary on how things go when you're in the orbit of Donald Trump, who Homelander clearly is.
Yeah. Do you think that like there is a version of this show that, I don't want to say backs away from it, but like there is a darker version of this show where it's like, could they have still given us a whole episode of Firecracker and religion and how or is it like, we got to throw Jared Padalecki in there. We got to give you kind of like the gross out jokes, because then it gets too dark. Where I was like, oh, I thought I would have taken a whole episode.
Stay in the darkness. I actually I agree with you, because that's a thing to me that actually I think sometimes The Boys gets in its own way of wanting to make the crass jokes or do something that like hides the ball of it getting very poignant and very like to make it like a capital D drama that The Boys could be. I think that the peek into Firecracker's psyche only at the end is the thing that makes it infinitely compelling, because you could extrapolate so much more from her final moments.
There was so much. I thought it was an amazing scene. Once again, I've never given a fuck about Firecracker as a character.
You got to make sure to say it at every single time.
Let it be known.
But yo, shout out to that the actor, shout out to the writing. When she's being filmed and reading the teleprompter and she has to throw her mentor under the bus, I'm like, yo, this is why you watch the show. That's great TV writing.
Yeah,
that's great fucking drama. I was like, I was bought in. I love that shit.
You guys didn't like the cameos from all of
Seth
Rogen's
Rogen?
friends?
I mean, sure.
I mean, honestly, but that was a final season thing. You do all of that stuff. Those guys are gone. Like their death is like the death of the show.
Well, here's the thing. No, there's no hate. I'm like, it's the final. Like to your point, I'm like, I watch Supernatural. I'm just like, hey, yo, this is kind of cool. We getting the whole band
having
back
fun.
together. Fuck yeah. Now, is there a little bit of me as a viewer be like, hey, yo, this is the final season. Come on, guys.
Let's move the needle here.
Get to the real shit.
I will never complain about seeing more Will Forte. So,
hey, love Will Forte.
Love Will Forte. Love Will Forte. Well, overall, good episode of The Boys.
That's right.
I think that the final season is fantastic. I would be really interested in the numbers and see how many people are keeping up with the show. Because I'll be real. Like right now, the TV thing is interesting. It seems like, not to say the I word again, it seems like Invincible is really the only thing that people are going crazy about. If it's between Invincible, no?
I think people are going crazy with Invincible, but also
or is my algorithm just fucking?
I think
every tweet you tweet about is Thrag, bro. You know what I'm saying? You might be seeing a lot.
Because I can't wait for them to put him on the show.
I know. When is it going to happen?
That to me, all of the conversation about whether or not we should be covering it, if they just put like one of the craziest villains on the show on the fucking show.
You know who could voice him?
Who?
You know the dude from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Which one?
What's his name? Ronan? Who's the guy?
Lee Pace.
Lee Pace.
Yeah, he'd
what
be
else was
good.
he in? I don't know him.
Lee Pace? Pushing Daisies.
Oh,
the
right.
Fall.
Foundation. Lee Pace could be a good threat.
I don't think I know him.
Oh, he's in The Running Man.
That's right.
Which guy was it? He was the bad guy in Running Man.
Yeah, he had the mask
Joe
on.
loves that guy.
Right.
Yeah, my mom loves that guy. Okay, yeah, that would be awesome if he
Lee
played
Pace is
Thrag.
Thrag. That could be
But also, if we talk about the broader TV landscape, it's like Euphoria numbers are probably doing very good. But it's like, I feel like you got Euphoria coming back. You got Jury Duty. There's a bunch of shit that's coming back where I'm like, I remember how motherfuckers was in the streets watching this shit 3, 4, 5 years ago. And it's like, you get seasons now. So I think this is just a TV thing where it's...
Oh, you're probably not right.
And I think Invincible is a perfect example of like, I think Invincible is doing well. I just think it has a vocal fan base that makes you think it's like... boom. And I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if like...
Because we could have had the same story about a show that me and Ben did, Fallout, which, once again, a lot of people watch Fallout. A lot of people love Fallout. But it seems like now it's difficult for a lot of this stuff to cut through and be the thing that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Part of this, guys, is because of all of these different fucking streamers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And, it is what it is. We would like to continue to get the screeners and be invited to the screenings and all of that stuff like that.
Make sure you have popcorn, though.
There's just a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fucking deny it.
Make sure.
But whoa, but if we can end on a positive note, I even think just like this year, we've gotten stuff like Project Hail Mary. We've gotten stuff like United the Seven Kingdoms where I'm like, hey, you have to be open to some of this stuff. Because like Project Hail Mary is like a movie we might have not covered in previous years when there was more Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
But we ended up walking away from that, enjoying it. Did we enjoy Michael? No. Did we get some viral content out of it? Does Jomi get to keep his job for another month? Yes.
Absolutely. And by the way, nigga, Michael went fucking crazy.
I keep seeing all the clips. I'm like, was I wrong? Was Michael fun?
Brother, my timeline is filled with people doing the dances. First of all,
they're dancing in front of the theater.
In the theater going crazy. I'm like, bro, did you get possessed by Michael in a moment? I see the dude do the full Thriller dance, bro. He was
in the movie theater during the movie,
man.
Boy,
I'm booing him.
I tell you guys
God.
something. So Michael at this point right now, I don't know if the Monday numbers are in. Well, they are because it's like, so it's at 104 domestic, 121 international, 226 worldwide. That's a week plus, I guess the Monday numbers are in as well. Look,
bad, bro.
Get ready for part 2.
The domestic opening was not part 2. Nah, fuck that. I already said it. The Michael universe is coming.
We get a Bubbles movie?
A full-length Captain EO movie. Okay. A Janet spinoff called Control. All right. You're going to get all different types. Whatever Mike got going on. Michael 2. Full length. They going Michael. The Lionsgate guys are here. They're doing something and others. They going Michael crazy. Thriller is back on the charts.
Yeah.
Like they going Michael crazy.
I did spin Human Nature a couple times. That was fucking great.
This guy. He was locked in.
Speaking of problematic musicians and biopics, by the time they do the Kanye West biopic, would you rather them run the TMZ audio or do you want them to cast?
Who plays
like,
you
oh,
in
man,
the Kanye
like,
documentary or in the biopic?
Man, first of all, by the time they do a Kanye, first, I'm not gonna be in the Kanye West documentary, but by the time they do the Kanye West documentary, nigga, I'm gonna be 78 years old.
And
that
that's
one's
gonna
take
be
a while, guys.
so funny.
And they're gonna be like,
I'm not gonna
there's
be in the
gonna be
Kanye
a
West
Jomi
documentary.
who's like, who's Van Lathan?
Oh, shit, I'm not gonna do it.
It'll be Van Lathan's nephew that comes in.
All right, guys. It's now time for an interview with the creator of the web series, The Comic Shop, Cheyenne Ewulu. I want you guys to pay attention in this interview.
Yes.
All right.
Me and Charles go first, interviewing Cheyenne. Watch how Jomi acts. If you're not
Stay the
watching
interview
it
until
on video,
like,
watch how Jomi acts when he gets into that chair. You've never seen Jomi like this before, guys.
and this is
you
for
definitely
everybody
have.
who thinks Van is lying about Jomi's transformation.
He's changed.
Right?
Mhm.
It's the body language says it all.
It's crazy. All right. You guys, we have a guest here on the Midnight Boys. Cheyenne
The Midnight
Ewulu.
Girls.
You're a midnight girl?
I'm a midnight girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have we ever had a midnight girl? I
I don't think so.
don't think we have before.
Mm.
Well,
rethink the brand just a little bit.
I don't know how you look at it. Actress, writer, showrunner, creator of the Comic Shop web
That's me.
series. Joins us on the Midnight Boys today. Give a little pew pew.
Oh, pew pew. Yes.
Damn, that was the weakest pew
pew
pew.
pew 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 at the screen. Oh,
God damn.
talking about myself.
We're starting. This is some disrespect that we're starting off with.
not pew pew.
By the way, she not only that, but she made Jomi.
She put
Jomi's
Jomi to
off
work.
camera right here. She made Jomi tape the BTS for this.
Does
I like this.
Nobody wants to work. Like, what is? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, me.
Nobody.
See what they've been trying to do since I got
See
here.
how you did it?
Shots
They've been trying to
fired.
But
separate.
I want you to understand that. See how you did it, and then you got played almost immediately.
No,
That's a lesson.
No. We're locked in.
That's
We're
a
locked
lesson.
in. We're locked in.
The Comic Shop web series. First of all, we really appreciate having you here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I think the web series is a lot of fun.
Oh, yay.
And tell us how and why you decided to go with this particular idea of this narrative set in this place that is so awesome to all of us. Like every time I go into different comic shops, it's always like an amusement park inside there.
I mean, I have been an avid comic shop goer since I got grown girl money and was able to,
Yeah.
you know? And so I wanted to really write a workplace comedy, but I wanted it to be from my perspective, my lens, and to write about a group of friends that I could relate to. Because I really felt like when it comes to nerd culture on film and TV, we don't really see a lot of us on there, which I think is crazy because all of my friends who are Black are nerds. So I just really wanted to write about a group of friends that I could relate to, that I knew my friends could relate to. And, you know, a comic story just came. I was like, it would be so fucking funny. Am I allowed to curse on here?
You are
Okay.
definitely allowed to curse.
I was like, it would be so fucking funny if I wrote about a comic book store just, you know, randomly. I mean, I collect comics, so it just made sense. And so, yeah, that's how that came about.
So my question is, as someone who also, like, I grew up going to comic book shops, love going to comic book shops, there's not a lot of Black people.
There,
Because I've gone to comic book shops where it's just like, oh, you realize someone not only is Black, is behind the cash register, but they own it. It's a different feeling because 9 times out of 10, when I go, I'm like, it's probably gonna be a white person.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, when you are creating this series, is it not just your friends, but you're just like, what would this space feel like? This is my comic book store.
Yeah, no, basically, yeah. I mean, anytime I've entered a comic book store, I've always felt like it was a safe space. People have always like really nice to me and like really cool. I've never had any negative experience in a comic book store. And so I wanted folks who maybe haven't been inside comic book stores to watch the show and be like, you know, is that what it's like? Is it, you know, is it like really welcoming in the comic book store? I might want to try and go in later, or, you know, or I don't know. I just thought that it would be relatable because I've never had a bad experience in a comic store. So
Tell us about the actual production of this, because there are a lot of people that are writers, directors, actresses, actors, showrunners, whatever, and they're wondering how they get their project to the finish line. You did in a lot of creative ways. Tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, so basically I was trying to pitch it. And I went through like different avenues to get that to happen. And nobody was seeing the vision. Nobody was seeing the vision. Literally, I remember there was this one person who was saying that they love the script. Script is funny, but I don't think like the Black audience, literally, I don't think the Black audience would get like a lot of the nerdy references. So can you like make it more cool, make it more like this, you know, make it so that people...
Niggerish.
All right.
You said it. I mean, but okay, can I be honest? It was a Black person that told me that. So like, yeah. So,
but you know what? You know what's funny about that?
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times that feels like, and I had to learn this. A lot of times that feels like crabs in a barrel shit. But sometimes it's coming from people who are telling you straight up, if you want to sell this, then you need to add a rapper as your EP, because if you don't do that, then nobody's going to buy it in the way that you have it. Sometimes that's the trauma that they dealt with trying to get things off the ground and stuff. It's not always like some shit like that.
What is your like thought process? Is you just like, I believe in this shit so much, fuck it. I gotta, if they're not gonna let me do it the way I want to, I gotta just do it myself.
No, literally. Yeah, that was it. That was it. I think after that meeting, I was just like, okay, nobody is gonna do this better than I can. And I'm also a Virgo and I'm also Nigerian, so I'm very stubborn. And so I just decided, you know, I have like a bunch of friends who have done Kickstarters. And I was like, if they can be successful, I feel like I could be successful at doing a Kickstarter. And so, I got my crew together, my crew of producers, writers, all friends who I've already known and worked with in the past. And I did a Kickstarter to raise 160, and we ended up raising 207K, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. That's actually a really well-funded production.
I think so.
How much had you shot and done before this?
This is my first production.
What was the learning experience like?
Oh my gosh. Don't wear too many hats. Let's see. It's okay to like let people who know what they're doing do what the fuck they do. Because I have a tendency, because I'm so hyper independent. I love to do everything. If I can clone myself 40 times, I would. And then also it's really expensive as fuck to film in LA. I don't know what that was about, but we chose the wrong time to do it independently, because the 207K was a lot, but I mean, filming in LA, it might as well be pennies, because it's so expensive to shoot here. So, yeah.
So one thing I noticed immediately watching the series is I'm like, damn, how much creativity you need to have, because it's like, you could see maybe like a Batman comic or a Superman comic in the back, but what you see in the front is what I'm assuming you and your writers are creating, where it's like different comics and all this stuff. So it's like, what was that process of like populating this store and making it feel like a comic book store, but with also some of your own flourishes?
First of all, if you saw a DC comic, no, you didn't.
No, I did.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. No, but a lot of the comics, like 90% of the comics that were in the forefront were real independent comics from independent publishers. So there was like some people that can do that through the Kickstarter, and like we would take their products and make it a part of the storyline. But then I literally just put out a feeler, and I was like, hey, if you are an independent comic book publisher and you wouldn't mind using, having us use your comics for, set dressing, please like send your comics to us and we'll put it in the background of the show. And so, yeah, a lot of the comics that you see are real comics. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Black comic book space right now? Because there's been a lot of stuff that's happened this year. There's been beefs, all kind of beefs.
Tell me about the beefs.
You didn't see the beef?
Tell me about the beefs.
You didn't see Ernie versus Rob, Blurred Without Fear versus Comic Explained, around racial dynamics. This happened in February. You didn't see that?
No.
You're too busy working. You're too busy doing stuff.
YouTube algorithm is very, very specific. So if you ever want to come and hang out at Van's house, you will learn about the fall of Costa Rica.
I'm old, okay? I'm old, and I see stuff, and I try to gauge the health of the blurred space, because when I was coming along, there was no blurred space, right? When I was coming along, you're on the bus, you're reading the Onslaught saga on the way to a football game, and people come like, you should be reading the Source magazine. I'm like, nigga, fuck you. I'm reading about motherfucking Onslaught, right? So it's different. Now there is a thriving, healthy space of young Black people and older Black people like myself who get to talk about and experience the things that they love in a really robust way, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of back and forth about representation in the space, Black woman representation in the space. You are now a part of that, like a creator in that space. What are your thoughts on the health of the space and the position of Black women in it?
I feel like I'm not on Twitter, so maybe that's why I don't know, because I left Twitter at the start of the year. So forgive me if I'm behind, but I feel like we're in a good spot as far as representation goes, because I feel like we have like a lot of women who are content creators in the space who are, I don't know if do you know Fantastic Frankie?
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic Frankie, I always, point her out. She's killing it. She's one of the faces of DC Studios, their podcast. And years ago, when there were Black nerds, but like it seemed like there were only men. And for a long time it was like really only Black men like in the Black nerd space. And so I feel like now we have her, we have Tiffy Starchild. Oh my God, we have so many amazing Black women that are just like navigating the space and sharing their insights and their love for the all things geeky. And so I think we're in a good space right now. I don't know like what one-off dramas are happening. I stay away from it.
I love it.
Again, I'm also not on Twitter.
Well, so can we talk about the health of the larger nerd space right now? MCU, DC, Star Wars. Who's on the rise? Who's falling? What are you tapped into?
I've always been a DC girly.
Okay.
And so first comic I read was literally Batgirl on Burnside. I've always first superhero I knew about was Batman, so like I'm always tapped into DC stuff. I'm really excited. I feel like I'm really excited for Clayface.
Okay.
He hated the trailer.
Really? Why?
I fuck Clayface.
Body horror? You don't like body horror?
I just don't get it's just I don't give a fuck about the Penguin. I don't give a fuck about Clayface. I don't give a fuck about these.
Really? Peak Batman villains.
Hey, give me the Joker. Give me Two-Face. I could even fuck with Mr. Freeze or Bane.
It can't always be the Joker though. We gotta expand the palette. Yeah. But anyways, but yeah, I'm really excited. And then Marvel,
what excites you about Clayface?
I think because first of all, they're tapping into the horror of it, which I think is really, really different from what we're used to from DC. And also, he's kind of an underrated villain. I feel like his storyline is just. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see how they tackle that. Because
are you fucking with Absolute Batman?
The comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not caught up. I'm not caught up.
That was a no.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's a no.
I'm
That's
just
I'm
not caught up. I'm just not caught up.
I'll tell you something about Absolute Batman though. I think that it's obviously it hit like a motherfucking ton of bricks, but it's also slow burning in that more people are catching up to it as the story evolves. It's legitimately taken over to the point to where it might be time to think about some Absolute Batman cartoons and some other media that's based in that world, because the story is just phenomenal.
You would make it a live action?
Yeah, but the problem with making it a live action, I would make it a live action, but the problem with making it a live action is we got like 19 Batmans right now. Or we're trying to get, we have
one live action Batman right now.
But we're about to have more. We're jostling over, I was being facetious, we're jostling over Batman. And another Batman in another universe with a whole different story. You might confuse the consumer there. But I at least think in the cartoon universe or something like that, we should see that in a way that's digestible to people so they can understand just how fucking awesome the story is. Really
how do you feel like James Gunn is doing? Because we got Supergirl, we got Clayface, we got Man of Tomorrow. As a DC girlie, are you like... He's doing a good job, or do you have notes?
I think he's killing it. I think he's killing it. I think he's bringing the James Gunn-ness to DC, which is what made him successful over at Marvel. And I don't know. I'm excited to see the rest of the slate. I'm excited. Yeah.
But you had a hot take before the camera started rolling.
What was my hot take?
Can you list all of the fandoms that you don't fuck with? Because it was surprising.
Okay. Let me preface this by saying it's not that I don't fuck with them. It's just nothing drew me to them. But so we were talking about how I've never seen a Harry Potter movie. I've never read a Harry Potter book. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones. I'm just not.
You're not into it.
Yeah, it's just not me.
Why? Say why.
Okay, no. I'll say why.
Whoa, you was being real before the camera started.
No, I'll say why. Because it's
what's going on?
Too many white faces. You
read Batman comics.
I need a little bit. Batman comics. Okay, that's different.
They give us one black person every 5 years.
That's
Lucius Fox and his son. What's his son name? Bat Thigh?
Not Bat Thigh. Batwing. Batwing.
It's Batwing. Why? He
don't do him like that.
I don't like that bat shit. Like I love Batman, but I don't like
Red Robin,
the Bat spinoffs. I don't like that. I don't like.
They don't like the Bat. Wait.
I like the immediate Bat family, but we started getting into like Bat cousins.
Yeah,
like I like.
So you don't like Duke Thomas?
Not really.
Why?
Duke sucks.
Not really.
Because here's the thing: if they're like, "Hey, yo, we making Robin black," cool. If it's like, well, he don't really get to be Robin, he gets to be like third string Robin. I'm like, get him.
I don't think they know what to do with him. It's like very and this like goes for like, you know, all publishers. I feel like a lot of times when they introduce Black characters or characters of color, they often don't know what the fuck to do with them. And so I feel like that is a problem with Duke Thomas. I feel like, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name, but she was Poison Ivy's like situationship or like girlfriend at one point, and she's like such a baddie. I forgot her name.
Harley Quinn?
No. In
Damn.
CC, they only know Harley Quinn, but like
Okay.
Poison Ivy was dating a sister.
she was dating a sister. Yes. I forgot her name.
Not
Oh my
Vixen.
God.
No, who is it? I have no clue.
She was
Somebody
not
please,
dating
can somebody
Vixen
please
is
look that up?
Spider-Man, right?
Vixen's DC.
Vixen. Which one is
No,
Vixen?
Vixen is DC. Yeah,
is?
Vixen's DC. No,
Sorry,
what is her name? Oh, I wanted to be
See,
her for
you
Halloween.
forgot the sister's name.
I
You gonna be her
did.
for Halloween.
I did. That's the problem.
Before we get back to, huh?
Yes, the gardener. Yes. Oh my gosh, she's such a baddie, and she had like a little situation with Poison Ivy, but now where is she? Nobody knows.
What's the future of the web series? Like, what's coming next? Season 2?
I know everybody's been hounding me. I literally cannot log on without somebody being like, "Girl, where's season 2?" And so we're working on it. My manager's outside. I don't know if he hears me, but we're working on it. You know, the goal is to keep it independent, and so. Okay. We're trying to find avenues to do that. So, you know, open your wallets if you are, you know, some big shot producer with money, because I don't think the everyday people should have to pay for this all the time. Just saying, you know.
But as an actor, writer, showrunner, like what else? Would you like to write a superhero movie one day? Do you want to be behind the camera more? Do you want to do more acting first?
You know, I want to act. That's what I want to do. I've always just wanted to act. I almost didn't let myself play the lead in the comic shop because I was like so nervous. I was like, oh, what if, you know? But I'm glad I did it because it really showed me like, damn, okay, I'm actually pretty decent at this. Like I can play a fucking lead in something, you know? You don't often see, you know, quirky Black women as leads. So, but yeah, I want to act. And I want to develop shows. I want to produce. I want to be able to produce other people's shows. Yeah, I want to do all the things. Yeah.
You are the first Black woman guest in the history of the Midnight Boys.
That's crazy.
Oh, well,
Why?
I think you're the first woman guest we've ever had, actually.
Is this the first woman guest?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Lots of reasons.
Lots of reasons.
So, who do you think should play Storm?
Oh God, what is her name? I'm so bad with names, but I have her face.
What was she in?
What is that Lena Waithe movie with oh God, what is his name?
Queen and Slim?
Yes.
Talking about Jodie Turner-Smith.
Yes.
Wait, isn't she our wait? She's on MC already?
No, I don't think she is. Storm is. I don't think she is in the MC. Is Jodie Turner? Oh, she might be.
I don't think she is.
What was she in? No. No, what?
Was she in a superhero movie?
No.
The Acolyte is what we're thinking about.
Yeah.
The Acolyte is what we're thinking about. She was in The Acolyte. Okay, she's good. Jamie Lawson?
What are your opinions on Van's biracial list?
You want a biracial Storm?
No.
Oh.
He's cataloging all of the biracial women in Hollywood, the agenda.
There's an agenda. Explain to me what you feel like is going on with I need catch me up.
I'll just say it again. I want the dark skinned sisters and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you know, I watch a lot of movies. Shout out to all the actresses that are working.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of movies, and every time I see a movie, it's new. We got a Black girl in it. It's like somebody. Her mom is Black, her father is German, Irish, and all of that stuff. I just see it over and over and over again. I see it's a trend. And by the way, it's not just me who's seeing this now. It's actually people have come out and said, what's her name? And said, like, you cast a Black girl and you ask the studio, and the studio gives you a certain, whatever. Everybody's got to work.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I started seeing it over and over and over again, and I started keeping a list.
A notes app. So he updates us every single time we
every time there is a new like
so
biracial Black actress that pops up out of nowhere. I add it to this list.
Not a list.
I told you he has a list.
I added to this list because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And there's so many that are popping up just in new stuff, big fucking roles that I'm like, yo man, Marcia Martin, Coco Jones, Jamie Lawson. I just want to make sure that we realize that
give our Dark Sisters a little bit more chances.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
they have to make. If they don't make Storm,
they're not gonna do that. With actually,
they've already done it. Like, they've already
actually never. Actually, the first Storm was biracial.
Yeah. Did you put that? Is that on the list too?
I can't put Halle Berry on these motherfuckers.
Wait, why can't you put Halle Berry on the list?
I'm not doing that. That's too much.
I do want to, before you go, make this a place of healing because we have a Nigerian, a proud Nigerian man here who has some questions. Jomi, can you step up?
Jomi, you have questions for me?
Yes. Here, take this seat, Jomi. You already put him to work, so.
I did, because I asked him to film a 2-second video of behind the scenes.
What's going on?
Jomi, we're ending wars right now. This is crazy.
We gotta, because everybody they want to separate us. They want us to beef, but you already know Nigeria, man. We like this.
Yeah,
Nigeria know they carry last. Come on now. Come on now. Igbo Kwenu. Listen, we here. I have a question though. In episode 2 of your show, you've got your mom comes to the place, and she's like, "You got to go back to school." Is that true to life? Because I know a lot of stories like that.
Oh, absolutely.
When your parents like always like go support you like in the arts, they're like, "Hey man, there's always a degree on the other side. There's always a job somewhere." What was it like trying to like create this world for yourself?
That a lot of it is like pulled from personal experience. Like my parents did not want me to do anything that wasn't like STEM or like being a lawyer. For the longest time, they wanted me to be a lawyer and go to nursing school. But I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I was meant to be a creative. It got to the point where I changed my major. My parents didn't even know I changed my major because I wanted to get out of university so bad. And but I was like a computer science major, just like Stephanie. She was a software engineering major. And
what are the top Nigerian professions?
Lawyer,
doctor,
engineering.
Yes, engineer. Engineering is like top.
What about emailer?
Oh, the emailer? You trying to say Nigerian scammer? You're canceled.
Notice how you the only one laughing.
Right.
Notice how it's only funny to you. Are you sorry?
I am.
Are you sorry?
I apologize. But that's not up there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's give him the face.
I'm sorry. But when I first met you, I thought you were the prince. I thought you were.
Do they joke like this all the time?
I apologize.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's crazy.
These are the jokes. These are the jokes. This is true talent.
Aw.
Absolutely true talent. Shout out to,
I forgive you for that email joke.
Come on, man. Y'all know what's up. Which one of the twins is in the show? Was it the one that worked with me at TMZ?
Both of them were in the show.
Both of them were in the show.
But the main girl is Shanae. So Shanae plays Dominique in the show.
I can't remember. One of them worked with me at TMZ. I actually can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, they're both in it though. They were both in episode 1.
Beautiful energy.
Yeah.
They dance. They're into comics. They're like, I can't wait for them to blow up. We appreciate you joining us today.
Yes.
Can I say where they can find the comic shop?
You absolutely can.
Y'all go watch the comic shop series. It's free on YouTube. Since free peak quality content is on YouTube, and you can find it by searching in the comic shop series on Awkward Virgo TV on YouTube. Awkward Virgo TV.
Well, where can they find you online?
Oh, you can find me at Cheyenne the Geek everywhere except Twitter.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God, y'all don't drag me.
Now we all sit the way.
Like this is.
Now we all sit.
Like thank you to Cheyenne. Jomi, something else, bro. Okay. On Thursday, Reverse Recommends is back with Jomi discussing Invincible season 4. You guys can get
you can come. You can talk about it too if you want.
I haven't seen it.
You sure?
I haven't watched it.
Oh shit, my fault.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna save it for a watch and have a lot of fun watching it,
and no one will know about it.
I mean, some people will know. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. People talking it up so much. I've seen a couple of scenes online. Some of this shit is cooking. I'm not gonna lie. Also on Thursday, House of Art deep dives into the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again. Our producers are Aleya Zenieris, Devon Baroldi, Jomi Adeniran on socials. Hashtag Jomi applying pressure. He sure did. Additional production from Arjuna Ramgopowell. Chuck, take us out.
We can't wait for HOTD. Michael is about to make a bill. And when it comes to the Nigerian queens, Jomi has to fucking chill.